Today we're going to talk about The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. So this book was a recommendation from someone, and I cannot remember who. Thank you, Susie. And it sounded really intriguing. So the Midnight Library is about, the Midnight Library. So between life and death, there is a library. And within that library, the shelves go on forever. Every book provides a chance to try another life you could have lived, to see how things would be different if you had made other choices. Would you have done anything different if you had the chance to undo your regrets? So that's the promise of this book. As you can see, I checked it out of the library. We have a wonderful library here. But this book was excellent. I was expecting to find it to be a good book. I was not expecting to like it as much as I did. Especially when I first started it, and it was super depressing. It was very depressing to start with. There's a lot of really good blurbs on the back from writers that I do enjoy who had really nice things to say about the book. So that kind of helps keep me going. And then also the expectation, because I had read some of I had looked at the Goodreads rating and it was rated pretty highly. And so that's typically pretty good. And so that gave me the incentive to keep going as well. Thinking like, okay, well, this should at least end well based off of the blurbs on the back and the Goodreads rating and from what I've heard. And the premise of the book was intriguing. And I really did like the main character. The author does a good job of making her relatable and putting like interesting tidbits about her life in there that really draw you in. So kudos to the author. Like, he did a fantastic job. And so I'm one of those people who, like, I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do with my life. Like, I've figured out some things and I've had some fun and it's still going pretty well, I think. But, you hear all of these things about like, oh, find the one great thing you're passionate about. Like, and there's these people who, like, things just drop in their lap, it seems, or they've always known what they wanted to do, like, oh, I've always wanted to be a doctor. I've always wanted to, be an actress. I've always wanted, like, okay, well, there's never been any one thing that I've been, like, immediately drawn to. Everything is interesting. Absolutely everything seems fascinating to me. So that's not helpful. It's not helpful in the slightest. And a little bit of that is in this book, and I found that to be somewhat relatable as well, so that was helpful. And then again, the author's writing, and then the ability to dip in and out of different lives, and the way he handles, like, it's kind of like a choose your own adventure story, and this girl gets to choose her own adventure, and there's all these different things that she wished she could have tried. And like, think about all the different things you wanted to be as a kid. So that this girl wanted to do that too. Like, so one of the things she wanted to be was a glaciologist, an Olympic swimmer. So she gets to explore different things, and you get to explore them with her. And the places that he takes those are not necessarily where I would have expected. Bless you, babe. So I thought that was really good. And the way that he helps then her to answer some of the questions that she's been asking, I thought was really good. And I think if you are a reader who cares about that sort of thing, then, like, you could learn some things, about your own life. It could help you to answer some of your questions, which was really nice. So I have to read two of the blurbs on the back because, like, I'm not going to find my own awesome way to say this. I'm just going to read theirs. But, so Neil Gaiman says of this book, Matt Haig has an empathy for the human condition, the light and the dark of it, and he uses the full palette to build his excellent stories. And then Jeanette Winterson says, Matt Haig uses words like a tin opener. We are the tin. And I thought both of those were the most accurate ones to sum up this book. I found it to be like very emotional. Once you got over how depressing the beginning was, which was needed to set it up, it got more interesting. There was a little bit more adventure. There was hope, and then, like, that hope started to get infused throughout the whole book. And then by the end, it was very good. Very good. So I definitely highly recommend this book. I hope I added something of value to the Goodreads conversation on there, and I'm hopeful that I am encouraging somebody else to pick up this book, especially if, you know, you are thinking, hey, what happened, you know, by me taking this choice or by choosing this path? Did I screw everything up? You know, is this something that's irreparable? I think that this book can kind of help you put some things into perspective and realize that, you know, we can't really like screw up our lives. No matter what path you took, you know, there's always a way back. So I thought that this book was excellent. Pick it up. That's where we're at. Thanks for joining me. Say bye, Susie. Bye.